Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Sasha Lee Hamilton. It's now time for Frontline Business. The government has cut asset tax on financial institutions in half. This follows calls to remove what is described as a disincentive and was first introduced as a temporary measure. More in this report.
The announcement to reduce asset tax on financial institutions was made on Tuesday by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark as he opened the 2020-21 budget debate in the House of Representatives. Distortion and a disincentive are the reasons given for the move.
We will therefore reduce the asset tax on financial institutions by 50% from 0.25% to 0.125%, effective in the next assessment year. So not effective in this assessment year, which ends on March 31st.
The next move by the government will be determined by the responsiveness of the financial institutions.
In terms of expanding their asset base, especially by lowering further interest rates and supporting the expansion of domestic economic activity, will determine how quickly we reduce any further. Mr. Speaker, the potential revenue loss of this is estimated at $3.02 billion.
Carrie Simpson, Frontline Business.
The government is set to rake in $14 billion from the sale of its stake in the Jamaica Public Service Company and the Jamaica Mortgage Bank in the new fiscal year. This was revealed yesterday by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark as he opened the budget debate. He said the proceeds have been conservatively projected.
Mr. Speaker, the government expects to list the Jamaica Public Service Company and the Jamaica Mortgage Bank, and from the sale of its 19.9% residual ownership in JPS and the sale of a large majority stake in Jamaica Mortgage Bank, conservatively we're expecting from both those transactions, so to not give away, valuations of either, we expect to for the government to take in $14 billion, Mr. Speaker, which could be slightly more depending on a number of factors. And that amount in this financial year will be put towards an acceleration of debt payment.
And the finance minister says Jamaica's debt to GDP ratio is projected to decline to 90.2% at the end of this financial year. This is down from 145% 7 years ago. The Jamaica Public Service Company is to invest more than $100 million towards the modernization of the nation's electricity grid over the next 5 years. That's the word from JPS President and Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel De Rosa. He pointed out that to expedite the modernization of the grid, the company has installed smart switches, trip savers, fault indicators, and automated several of its systems. Mr. De Rosa says the island's current peak demand is 660 megawatts and is forecast to increase to 877 megawatts by the year 2035. Air freight rates are skyrocketing after the grounding of many passenger flights in Asia left shippers scrambling to book limited spots on cargo planes as Chinese industrial production restarts. According to industry insiders, about half of the air cargo carried worldwide normally flies in the belly of passenger jets rather than in dedicated freighters. But deep flight cuts in response to the coronavirus outbreak have made the market more dependent on freight haulers. In mainland China, the number of freighter arrivals has increased in recent weeks as factories resumed production. China's aviation regulator said the number of freighter flights was expected to reach 870 this week, up from 788 in the week starting February 17. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 1,928 points to close at under 500,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 82 stocks, of which 24 advanced, 51 declined, and 7 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 47 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living, MG Packaging and Paper, Caribbean Producers, Carreras Limited, and Everything Fresh. Stocks declined for Barita Investments, Berger Paints, Blue Power Group, CSE 2009.5%, and Cargo Handlers. Trading firm were Epley Limited 8.25%, G West Corporation, Kingston Properties, QWI Investments and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with 50.3 million units, followed by Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with over 3 million units and Honeybun with over 2.3 million units. And now for the foreign exchange. The United Arab Emirates followed Saudi Arabia on Wednesday in promising to raise oil output to a record high in April as the two OPEC producers raised the stakes in a standoff with Russia that has hammered global crude prices. Brent crude futures fell $1.87 to $35.05 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures slid $1.22 to $33.08 a barrel. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Sasha Lee Hamilton. Pleasant viewing.